Quite some time ago, I was in the middle of browsing the YouTube homepage trying to find a video to watch because I've got my dinner ready and I cannot eat that dinner unless some YouTube video is playing in the background. We all know this, right? Anyways, I got recommended qwer. Oh, what is qwer? qwer is this K-pop girl group, but hear me out, they're pretty damn different. They're a K-pop girl group, but all their members are playing musical instruments. Wow! You know, like a K-pop girl band. Isn't that super okay, maybe you don't care. Whatever, but for someone who enjoys K-pop maybe a little bit too much, this is something new and fresh, okay? Just let me get what I can. So I get interested and this is the video I chose to watch. I listened to them and they're pretty damn okay. They're average maybe, they sound a little bit of K-pop, they're not super bass, at least for my taste. Maybe a little bit of influence from J-pop, but I digress. This all doesn't matter, what matters is I got interested. And then, I don't know if you feel the same way, but the moments between finishing my dinner and washing the dishes is the perfect moment for me to procrastinate. And what better way to procrastinate than to look up this new K-pop girl group that I just found. And that's what I did. I look them up, I put it on Google and search up what is that? qwer chodan is making remarks about being anti-feminist. Okay, that's certainly not on my K-pop bingo card coming into this. Like, for real. I am being a little bit more dramatic here because this is a YouTube video, you get it. But I certainly wasn't expecting this coming into it, but that's certainly something, so I'm gonna look them up and understand it a little bit more, right? Okay, chodan made the statement on Twitch personal broadcasting feminist from to understand it, and at this moment, I had an epiphany. I'm making it a little bit more dramatic, but the core of it is the same. I had a realization, per se. I don't need this. This is all unnecessary. Prior to looking her up a little bit more, planning to clicking that YouTube video, she barely existed in my head. She may or may not exist. She might as well just be part of the Matrix for all I know, even after looking all of this up. All this drama, all these things about the Me Too movement, the feminism, again, I'm not explaining it because it's not what matters. What matters is the whole drama, the whole capsule of it, doesn't matter at all to me because she is so separated from me that for me, she barely exists. Hence, she is probably not real, at least for me realistically speaking. So why then should I care about all this drama, all these beliefs that she have towards feminism, towards her personal experience, everything? They may or may not have happened, or all of this could just be a publicity stunt, or even if all of this happened, none of this have any real substance to me personally. I'm just a bystander to all of this, but the effects of thinking about all of this is definitely very real to me, especially if you're like me, who is an overthinker. And it's not about her personally as well. I could just be making her up and all of this could be made up and it's still the same. The core of it is the same. All this internet drama, I don't know, especially when it's this complicated, you know, when it's pretty in-depth, it's not as clear-cut as one side is bad, one side is wrong, one side is right, and you actually have to think about it and consider all the different perspectives, all the actual context surrounding it to actually know and make a substantial thought towards it. Are all of that effort worth it? To think about all these things that will actually impact you, at least shaping your thoughts. Maybe you will feel more negatively towards one group over the other, but essentially, all of these things are just part of the internet and part of the matrix and simulation. We are just considering it in our perspectives when in reality, we are so separated from them physically and contextually. They are so separated, they're just a part of the internet people we barely know about that we are making it as if they matter way more than us. Okay, maybe I'm explaining this quite poorly, but I'm sure you still get the idea all the same. All these influencers, all these celebrities, by the way, before we go on actually, at this point in time, we can definitely call influencers, like streamers, YouTubers, we can definitely call them celebrities, right? Because, come on, I'm sure a lot of you know more about some streamers than you do some actors and actresses, right? Like, for example, how many of you know who Grubby is? And how many of you know who cenat is? Yeah? See? You get my point, right? Got you, mate. Both of them are streamers. So, do you think aliens would be a cat person or a dog person? Simply put, the idea of it is just that all these celebrities have all these dramas, say a lot of these things, have a lot of beliefs that they spoke out loud that we consider and think about probably way more than we should have. Because realistically speaking, if we consider how separated we are from them, they may as well not exist. So why is it then that we consider their beliefs, their drama, their thoughts so much and have it impact our own set of beliefs so much, when realistically speaking, we barely know anything about them? They may as well just not exist, like I said. And this also extends way beyond just celebrities as well. I'm sure you also feel the same way, but nowadays it's very easy to go up to the internet and just look up any kind of news and be shown some news that is less than desirable. Some bad news happening all around the world because this earth is pretty damn big, huh? I don't know if you grew up the same way, but when I grew up, where I grew up I guess, a lot of the old people surrounding me used to say, finish your rice because kids in Africa are hungry. But if you take a step back and actually consider it realistically, it doesn't really matter. Whether or not I finish the rice or not, those kids in Africa that are supposedly hungry will remain hungry. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter what I do because Africa is so separated from me. I cannot give the rice to them if I didn't finish it, and I finishing it, those rice won't just magically transfer from my stomach to their stomach, right? This is kind of the deal that we tend to forget when we are interacting with the internet, isn't it? The internet is super amazing. It connects us with so many people from around the world. But at the same time, we have to consider that statement as well. It connects with people from around the world, which also means there's a lot of people from everywhere around the world with way different lifestyle, with way different contexts that may have very different beliefs from us that may or may not be fair just because of the difference in how we grew up with different beliefs and different ideas and sets of moral values that are very different to one another. And this fact doesn't allude to celebrities as well. Those celebrities grew up in way different contexts, and especially because they're celebrities, they also come with some fame. And with those fame, that is already one separator variable that makes them quite separate to us contextually wise. So they will have very different set of beliefs that fundamentally will shape how they think and how we think quite differently. We can try to bridge the gap, but essentially when it is overwhelming us too much, we should probably remember that and actually consider that before we start overthinking. This is kind of more of a reminder for myself, but I'm just tagging you along with me for this, so hear me out, okay? There's also the case that at the bottom of it all, there may be a chance that all of this may be faked anyway. We only get to see what they chose to show you. How many hours of a day do we spend with ourselves? 16 hours? 24 hours? Well, maybe 16 hours because you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day, I think. Anyways, maybe 16 hours a day every day. But how many minutes do you get to see of your favorite celebrities? Several minutes every week? Several minutes every month? Several minutes every year? Or maybe several hours every day if they're a streamer? But is that really enough to actually garner how they are actually? We only get a glimpse of their beliefs, their ideas, their side of the drama whenever they chose to show it to us. But we don't actually get to see what their personal lives actually are, even if we get to see a lot more of them on media, because they may still be faked and might still be different. We don't get to know the things beyond what they chose to show us. You don't get to know what I'm hiding underneath that poster right there. Maybe before I started recording this video right here, I choose to move that thing I'm hiding underneath that poster right outside. You wouldn't know that because I didn't choose to show it to you. You wouldn't know what my personal life really is like. This is not a challenge, okay? Please don't dox me. Stay out. In any case, for example, Jisoo from Blackpink right here may very well be dating, I don't know, cenat, for example. Unlikely for sure, but just by the fact that her and cenat are both living and being alive on Earth right now, the chances are not zero. These are the personal lives that we don't get to see, and honestly, we probably shouldn't see as well, right? And I think one example of this fakeness that is very interesting is Nathan Fielder. Nathan Fielder is an American personality that is quite popular because of his personality. His creative ideas that is quite out there. He has these creative ideas that he tend to show from his acting, from his creative directing, that is quite out there, quite outlandish per se. It's kind of this stereotype in the internet, if you're aware of it and you're as chronically online as I am, of these aliens, how aliens would act like had they been on Earth trying to pass as humans. It's kind of that same idea and feel that Nathan Fielder is giving, because he kept on creating these ideas that just feel so weird and makes you think, how would you even come up with that? Like, it's so out there. There's always this question about Nathan Fielder of whether or not he actually is this weird in real life. Is he actually this weird personality-wise in real life? Or is he actually faking all of this, all this personality, all these creative ideas, just simply for the sake of entertainment? And honestly, I think the most important question is, does it matter? Does it really matter whether or not Nathan Fielder is faking this personality and creative ideas if the entertainment value that you get out of it is the same anyway? But I do understand that it is still very complicated. It's kind of the same with politics as well. We would hope to believe that these politicians are actually believing what they say and show, and that's about as much that we can do as well. We can only hope that that is the case, but at the end of the day, even if they're fake, we cannot really do anything about it apart from, I guess, believing in it. Maybe this analogy doesn't really work. Whatever, just move on. Essentially, all of what they choose to show may all at the end of the day be completely faked, and most of us would probably never even get the chance to find out whether or not those are actually real personalities or just fake personalities. To us plebeians, at the end of the day, if we think about it, they, celebrities here, are not that different from a very well documented Bigfoot. And taking a step and considering it within the shoes of the celebrities themselves, there is still quite a lot of incentive for them to actually be faking it as well, to not be real to the consumers, as plebs. Being more real to your consumers, to your fans, may get your art more appreciated, for example, because you get to be more personable to your fans, or maybe your beliefs and values actually align with most of your fans, and a lot of your fans really like that and make them subjectively shape their own appreciation for your art a little bit more positively. Your art may be appreciated simply because you are a good person. An art may be appreciated simply because of the artist. Now, the reason as to why I'm bringing this up at all, one example of this that is very interesting to me is the case of Hyuna. Now, I'm not gonna get into the details of her drama, her beliefs, and everything surrounding it, whether it's real or not, whatever. To me, that's not what I'm focusing about. What I'm focusing is just that the idea of it is really interesting. Hyuna, for the longest time, is very popular for what she stands for. She's very outwardly open and public of being supportive towards body positivity, female empowerment, a lot of these ideas that ultimately have led to a lot of different people really appreciating her for her personality and beliefs, for what she stands for. A lot of it ultimately in turn to a lot of people really appreciating her art for the artist, like I said before. And then Hyuna one day decides to announce publicly that she is getting engaged and is in a relationship with a guy that is involved with the Burning Sun scandal. The Burning Sun scandal, in case you don't know what it is just a scandal back in the South Korean K-pop industry involving a lot of really heinous stuff that is done towards women, basically. That's the softest way I can go about it. And this guy that Hyuna is engaged in and in a relationship with is supposedly involved in that scandal. Once again, I'm not gonna focus on the truth of the matter, the whole drama surrounding it. What matters is, you can probably imagine those fans that initially really follow her for what she stands for, really appreciate her work because of what she stands for, what she represents. How do you think they would really feel that Hyuna chose to be engaged in this person that is involved in a scandal surrounding really heinous acts that is done towards women? You can probably imagine that they would turn 180 degrees completely towards Hyuna for choosing to do this very thing. The point is, this decision of yours to make your fans really appreciate you for what you stand for may be a fleeting moment and have them really turn on you if you choose to be different at some point in your life down the line. Okay, but whatever, right? This is a case where art is separate from the artist. But what if the artist is the art themselves? What if we consider the case of streamers and, I don't know, celebrities like Kim Kardashians, let's say? Aren't they really popular because they are popular? For those cases, you cannot really separate the art from the artist. You will have to put your personality into your work because your personality is your work, right? So what do you do about it when it's that sense? You have to be real in that sense, right? I'm sure by this point, you're probably smart enough to actually think of a lot of different ways in which being more real, even in the case where the artists are the art themselves, can be quite problematic. Like for example, how much really do you want to incorporate your life to be part of your work? Is a vacation really a vacation if you are vlogging it? And there's also the problem of parasociality as well. Parasociality goes both ways, you know. It's very easy to imagine the problem of parasociality when it's the viewers towards the streamers. But the streamers themselves are also developing a level of parasociality towards their viewers. Why do you think a lot of these streamers choose to stream 5 hours every day of their life online? For money? Well, yeah, I guess. But a lot of these streamers at the very beginning, they barely make enough. Why do you think they choose to go on? A lot of these streamers, at least some of it, choose to fill in the gap for loneliness. A lot of them feel lonely and they're trying to find some sociality online. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. You should probably read it up a little bit more if you're interested, but essentially think about it this way. It has always been the question of whether or not you are able to make internet friends. Are internet friends real? Are your friends that you only meet through Discord for however many years that you play together with them your real friends? Are they any less of a friend than the friend that you do have in your actual life that you meet physically? Now, considering that problem of just one person in the Discord call is hard enough, think about the problem of when you are in the Discord call with 1,000 different people if you're a popular streamer constantly. Not only that, you are not even able to individuate them at all. They are conglomerated into one entity that is called chat. In that sense, it is quite complicated thing, right? Unless you are actually in that state, how would you really know how you would feel towards this idea and feeling? I don't know, I'm getting bored. Okay, last point. When a serious issue do arise, of course they need to be publicized and actually be considered objectively. The truths of the matter definitely needs to be considered way more. You have to consider more fully of the drama and whatever they say and whatever belief they hold, especially when this surrounds and involves the celebrities that you actually care and consume, right? However, even then, I don't think it's super clear cut as well. Because sometimes you do make a mistake. You think this problem should be publicized because it's a very real issue, but the problems themselves should probably have stayed private and you probably should have solved this problem yourself, you as in the celebrities here. One example of this is newjeans. Again, I'm not gonna discuss the drama of it. I'm sure you're tired of hearing that. But newjeans at this point released a statement at some point of workplace harassment. But if you actually listen to what they're saying, the workplace harassment that they're bringing up is a really nothing burger. It's really barely considerable to be workplace harassment. It is still harassment, but in the context of this is a huge brand publicizing an issue, this is really nothing burger that should have been done and discussed privately within their own company. I digress. The point is, they're publicizing an issue that probably should have been done privately at their own time. But at the time when they were publicizing it, they probably really feel that they should publicize this very real issue and leverage what they have, their fans, to support them. But in this context, it turns out they were wrong. This problem shouldn't have been publicized. They should have solved this problem privately at their own time. Of course, I'm not undermining it. Whenever a serious problem do arise, you should probably publicize it and bring more awareness towards it. I'm just saying, It's not often as clear-cut as one side is wrong and one side is right. Sometimes it can even backfire towards the one publicizing it. However, that's about it. What is this video about again? Thank you so much for watching. Go like, subscribe, share whatever if you want, and bye bye. I hope you have a great rest of your day.